Good morning, friends. I am S. Surya, 18G115. Today, I am going to take the seminar on the topic Historical Perspective of Constitutional Amendments in India. In 17th century, the East India Company has incorporated with the Indian government. Now, let us see the various phases of our constitutional growth from English period to till this day. We can broadly divide our period as the coming of British from 1600 to 1765, and from 1765 to 1858 it has been called as the beginning of British rule, and from 1858 to 1919 the end of the company rule, and from 1919 to 1947 the self introduction of government has been proposed, and by 1947 and 1950 we have framed our new constitution. The Government Act of India 1858. This act transferred the government of India from the company to British Crown, and all the powers has been given to the name of Majesty's Secretary of State. The powers of the Crown were transferred and exercised by the Secretary of the State in India, which is a council of 15 members. The administration of the country is not only unitary but rigidly centralized. The provisional governments, where many of the agents of the government in India had to function under the superintendence, the direction, the control of the Governor General. And this is the entirely a machinery of administration was bureaucratic, totally unconnected about the public opinion in India. There will be no concern given to the people's opinion in 1858 Act's government. Indian Council at 1861. This act enlarged the Council of the Governors. This act suffered from many defects, and it gave the unlimited power to the governor itself rather than the common people. The Act Indian Council Acts of 1892. This act increased the number of members in the central and provincial council, introduced election systems partially, but there were defects in this act. The first defect is that the system of election was defective. The power of the legislative councils were very limited, and the number of non-official members was very small. The Morley-Minto Reform and the Indian Council Act. This is the first attempt at introducing a representative government. Morley-Minto reforms, which implemented by the Indian Council, is 1909. The By this act, the size of legislative councils, the central as well as provincial, was considerably increased. The powers were also enlarged. The council had also right of discussing, but they don't have the right for voting. Introducing of self-government. Montagu Chelmsford Report, the landmark report in constitutional development which led to enhancement of the Government Act in 1919. The main features of the Act 1919, the declaration. They promised a very responsible government to India which will hear the problems to the people. Diarchy in the provisions, the double rule. Its object was to train the natives in the act of self-government. Central government. It was responsible to the British Parliament through the Secretary of State. It has bicameral legislative. The structure of the government to remain unitary. The power of the government is fully centralized to central government powers, and it was a unitary government. The shortcoming of Act 1919. The reforms of 1919 failed to fulfill aspirations of the people of India. Its reasons were for not fulfillment of the demands for responsible government. Second, the failure of diarchy. Simon Commission. Sir John Simon was the head of the Simon Commission. He led the commission for about 10 years. He submitted in the report 1930, but it has been rejected in the Round Table Conference. The Government of India 1935. This act regarded as the full milestone on the highway leading to full responsible government. The basic feature of the act were federation and provincial autonomy, diarchy at the center, a bicameral central legislative created distribution of powers between the center and the provincials. Chris, Cripps mission. Cripps mission came in 1942 and recognized at the demand that the constitution to be framed by an elected constituent assembly, the Indian to be given a dominion status. Cripps' proposal was rejected. The Labour Party came into power in England. The Cabinet Mission 1946. The cabinet came into India on 4th March 1946. It consisted of three British members: Lord Pethick Lawrence, Sir Stafford Cripps, Mr. Alexander. The cabinet mission provided for an indirectly elected constituent assembly. The assembly consisted of a total 389 members, from which 93 were nominated from princely states, 289 were elected from provinces, and 4 has been nominated from the chief common areas. Joint Constituent Assembly for India and Pakistan. The first meeting of the Constituent Assembly was held on December 9, 1946, but it was boycotted by the Muslim League. The Muslim League demanded a separate assembly for the Pakistan. On 26th July 1947, Government of General Lord Mountbatten announced the setting of separate Constituent Assembly for Pakistan. Indian Independence Act 1947. Creation of two independent dominions, India and Pakistan, from 15th August 1947. The dominions had to have a governor, a general appointed by king. The constituent assemblies were empowered to frame laws. After 15 August 1947, no control of British government on the dominions of India. Since we got the independence on 15th August 1947. Framing of new constitution. The first meeting of the assembly was held on 19th December 1946 as the Sovereign Constituent Assembly for India. On 11th December, Dr. Rajapaksa Prasad was elected as the permanent chairman. They drafted a constitution in January 1948, but the drafted constitution was considered for just 114 days. The new Constitution of India was adopted by the Constituent Assembly on 1949 December 26th by the President of Rajendra Prasad. Some new provisions of the Constitution were came into force on 26th January 1950. The Indian Constitution is criticized to be borrowed from number of other constitutions, but it doesn't mean that all provisions are borrowed and implemented. The valuable inputs are largely influenced by the factors of social, economic, geographical factors, and hence Indian Constitution came into force after a huge period by Dr. Ambedkar. Thank you.